right. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Allison Matthews, and I just want to say welcome to Intro to Sociology. I am excited to be teaching this course with you all, Principles of Sociology. I am new to Wake Forest University. I've been working as the Associate Director of a program called Integrating Special Populations at Wake Forest Baptist Health. But I'm a sociologist by training. I earned my PhD in sociology at UNC Chapel Hill, master's and PhD, and went to Howard University for undergrad. So I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to the news lately, but Howard University has been in the news because of Kamala Harris. So very excited and proud about her representing my university. I also want to just let you know just a little bit about myself. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and so I'm a Southerner at heart. I've lived in North Carolina for 14 years. And so I'm also new to Winston-Salem. I lived in Durham for 13 of those 14 years and just moved to Winston-Salem actually right before the pandemic started, even though I worked at Wake Forest for a little over a year, Wake Forest Baptist Health, over a year. So as the Associate Director of Integrating Special Populations, my role is to help with help thinking about community engagement and recruitment and retention of underrepresented groups into research at the hospital and in the School of Medicine. So I'm sure over the course of this semester, you'll get a little bit of better sense of how and why I jumped into the medical sociology more so than traditional sociology. But my background is in understanding race, ethnic identity, how that intersects with gender, sex and gender identity, thinking about discrimination and stigma, and how things like access to resources, employment, education, and your lived environment affect your health outcomes. And really, I'm really interested in things like stress management, identity, conflicts and identity management, stigma, kind of trust building and perceptions around trust and equity. And so a lot of that work I explore at Wake Forest as a researcher. And so I do a lot around, qualitative research, focus groups, interviews, qualitative data analysis, and actually have built my kind of career around this concept of crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is this idea that you have a problem and then you ask community members or just like a group of non-experts to submit their ideas on how to solve that solution. And the idea is that you're able to find better and more efficient solutions, more effective solutions from a multitude of people rather than just finding one expert to solve the problem for you. So we use that idea, that methodology around crowdsourcing to host contests where people submit creative ideas. And then we use the ideas to then create campaigns that promote health and address stigma and kind of build that relationship between hospitals and institutions and community settings. So throughout this semester, just some logistic things. Again, like I just finished taking a 2-week crash course on how to use Canvas, and so I'm going to do my best to help you navigate through that. But we're going to have to give each other both some grace in learning how to use these new tools. I have taught 8 courses, so I'm very familiar with teaching, and I enjoy it, and I hope that you will enjoy learning with me. I've taught courses on race, ethnicity, sex and gender, demography. I've taught a research methods course, and race, class, gender. So, and an intro to sociology course. So I've taught a lot of different courses. My students, I keep in touch with a lot of my students. I actually just saw on Facebook, one of my students from UNC, I used to teach at UNC, one of my students just she has a startup company, and her company is valued at $100 million. And I'm like so proud. So, building relationship with students is really important to me. And I'm just wanting to let you all know that I'm here as a resource for you. So some logistic things about the class. This is asynchronous. Like I said, I work a full-time job at Wake Forest Baptist Health. And if you know anything about COVID, like I'm in the middle of COVID land, and just thinking about how to protect people and how to get health messages out. And I don't want to put you at risk, and I don't want to put myself at risk by meeting in person if we don't have to. So I will provide some opportunities for us to see each other in person. I do a lot out in the community. We have a lot of opportunities for volunteering and or extra credit. So there will be some opportunities for us to meet in person, but I just didn't want to force it through courses and sitting in a classroom and putting our health at risk like that. Also, feel free to email me. You have my email. We will be meeting every other week on Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Most of you all are here in Winston-Salem, which is great. But I do know that there are some people who have maybe some class conflicts because they didn't know about that time that wasn't listed on the course. Or I have one student who is not in the country, so time difference is a major issue. So we will be recording those Zoom sessions. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions, for us to kind of think a little bit more deeply about the course material, and then also for me to have some guest speakers who are all interesting people doing sociology in action. So in addition to that, I want to let you know that the course book is online. It's through Cengage. I want you to purchase the MindTap package that allows you to have the online course book as well as all of the quizzes, and because that's the bulk of the class. It's self-paced. So if you want to go ahead and knock out the readings and knock out the quizzes ahead of time, feel free to. And if you have questions and you've moved ahead and you want to still get feedback from me, feel free to do that. But there will be a midterm and a final presentation. And so those things, obviously you need to kind of keep at pace with the course just to make sure that you're on the same page, especially the last couple of weeks of the class will be more focused on the final presentation. So just making sure that you check in for those things. So if you have any other questions, I will also be setting up a class hashtag. So I'm asking if you're not already on Twitter for you to join Twitter, and I can show you how to use Twitter. The benefit of that is, for us to have ongoing class discussion, to engage with like things that are happening in the news that may be relevant to the readings, as well as for you to meet some of my colleagues. I have a pretty extensive network of colleagues around the world. I've worked in China. I've worked in Guangzhou, China. I've worked in South Africa, in Cape Town, in Johannesburg, in Durban. I've worked in Europe, gone to, presented in Amsterdam and Scotland and in England. And so, I want you all to benefit from that network as well. And so one great way and easy way to do that is by being on Twitter, because all of my colleagues are on Twitter. So, so that way you'll be able to meet with and have conversation with some of the leading scholars around the world in sociology, in public health, in clinical research. So I'm really excited about this course. I hope you're excited, and I will talk to you soon. Make sure you check in on Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom for our first introduction class. Thanks.